Hi Leo, welcome to New Era. My name is Emma. Leo, this is your love reading starting today on the 13th of July, which is gorgeous because 13 is all about the divine feminine. I'm gonna do it a bit differently today than I've been doing it in the past. And I'm just gonna do like a typical reading at first for your love, and then at the end of the reading, there's going to be like a silent moment where I show you 14 different cards. I'm gonna tell you why. And the extended today, you could see it as like there's an extension to this message, but it's almost like if this is the before, and then we have a silent reading for a while, and then we have the after. Then the after is in the extended. You can also see it as if this is like 3D, and then the extension is going to be all about the 5D, if that makes any sense. I'm going to walk you through it. So we're going to start here with your, there's so many things happening right now. I feel like there's such shifts going on, Leo. So any new day is really truly a new day. And in terms of where the shifts are, gorgeous in terms of where the shift, like there's so much happening, and this crow keeps following me around. I have to say that these peacocks are following me around, so maybe there's something to it for you there. But other than that, I'm going to just continue to incorporate that in the reading whenever the peacocks are showing up, or whenever crows are showing up. And the crow more and more now has sort of become a guidance. It is not the upgrade from the peacock as I thought before. The crow for me now, maybe something different for you. But what's coming through here, so whatever resonates with you, you just take that and fly with it, if you will. See what I did there? So that you feel like if you see a crow, or if you see sort of any type of bird, that's guidance for you, like show you your direction, if that makes sense. So this is really beautiful. We have two knights on the table, and there's something about the upgrade, and I mean, I've asked for it. So we're starting with these two that come up first, Knight of Gabriel and King of Gabriel. So it's like we're stepping up the game, and it's not necessarily just hang on here, Leo. I'm getting like there's something about dance, the devil's dancing in the fire. What? Okay, I'm just gonna clear my mind and sort of come back to that, because it feels like it. Yeah, okay. So, we're starting here. Knight of Gabriel. Knight of Gabriel is this gorgeous energy. And it's sort of the knight for me, because the next step up, obviously we have the queen in between, and there is not gender specific. It's just that next level up for the masculine, I'll take it here, is like the knight and then the king. And then the queen is something completely different, is what it feels like here. So there's like an upgrade from knight to king. And typically I would say that this is your person. I don't think it is, Leo. I think this is you. And there's something about the sand. I don't know if that's what you're saying. Sand dunes. So with a sort of I sort of get an Egyptian feeling here. Like a very... I see this image of like, so in the very beginning of Earth, whenever that was happening, in the very beginning of Earth, it was like just sand and just more sand. I'm not saying it was, that's what I'm seeing. And it's like, so at the very like beginning, then we sort of went forward. We created the future, and we went on living, and there was just more and more stuff going on. There was more and more trees and bushes, and then animals and people, and it just kept happening, things just evolving. And then it's like we come around it like full circle and sort of coming back now to sort of revisit, like, oh my God, yeah, that's right, that's where we started. This is where we started. So in terms of your love life, this is like you're going back to your, I mean, this silent reading that's happening at the very end, it's all about going back to your blueprint, and it's somewhat like that. It's sort of restarting everything. It's like you revisit, however, the purest cell. Just imagine every cell in your being, and every, like, whatever the heart has transpired into, and obviously there's been an upgrade and evolution, and all of that. But there's something about just the evolution of the heart and the evolution of the cell, obviously. But it's like, imagine it being back to the very core, back to the very crystal clear. I hope this makes sense. That like we're starting over. It's not like we're starting over. Like, okay, so you started kindergarten, you worked your way all the way up to graduating, and then it's like, oh, are you kidding me? Like, do I have to go back to, I don't want to go back to the kindergarten. I've been there. That's not what I'm talking about. Maybe that's not how you would react either. Yeah, you go, it's like we go back to the blueprint. We go back to the crystal clear. There's something about crystal clear. It's like, I just want to say crystalline, but crystal clear cell. And we're starting from there. Like, you're meeting this gorgeous person that's divinely, like I said, we have number 13 today, which is the divine feminine. And it's like where Gabriel is peeking in, sort of giving you heads up, giving you a hint that, okay, you're about to, I think that maybe you thought you were going to go it alone for a bit, but you moved up the scale. There's something that has awakened in your heart energy center, in and around your ascension process, that is all about coming to a clear place. And it's almost like, so we're having like an upgrade. So we go from this knight to this king. And I just want to read because the words here, it just fits perfectly. So this describes you when you were the knight, confident, enthusiastic, courageous, and charismatic. I feel like this is describing you, Leo. And then it's like you're upgrading to this generous, inspirational, dramatic, and driven. And I just want to, this is the Knight of Gabriel. It doesn't show anything about any signs or anything. And I haven't actually seen this before. It couldn't be more clear. Unless the camera doesn't want to show it. There you go. Ah, do you see his necklace? His grand necklace that is hanging, please focus, around his neck. I'll just tell you instead, but it's more fun if you can see it. It's actually a Leo. It's a Leo face. Just the image of the Leo is hanging around his neck. It's almost like it's almost like you've done this journey. You started in kindergarten, and the end goal was to be in Leo school. It's like the ultimate goal, or the ultimate, like the graduation was to step into the Leo energy. And you graduated, and so you got this medal. They're hanging the medal, and you're like, you got your throne and everything. There's something with the not Capricorn, what? Right. Okay, and I don't know tarot. So in the traditional tarot, I think that Capricorn, that's what they're trying to give to me here, is that the devil in the traditional tarot is the Capricorn. Perhaps that's what they mean. And I see these little devils here, like there's a little devil there, you don't see that, and there's a little devil there, so it's like devil there. There's something coming in, Leo. Someone coming in. This upgrade has already happened. It's almost like you're in this tunnel. I'm strongly generalizing. Can you say that? This message. I strongly, with saying this, what I'm about to say, it's almost like you're going in this tunnel, and this tunnel represents the 3D. I can't talk. The 3D dimension. And so you're going in this tunnel, and you know, if you're out with your GPS on your phone, you try to go somewhere, and you put your direction in there, and the minute you step into this tunnel, it's like, you lose the signal. So there's no higher energy or a higher like antenna on the outside that sort of can then reach you, and you can't reach it or them either, because you're in this tunnel. And I feel like the tunnel isn't bad. The tunnel is necessary, and the tunnel is something you just went through. Can be a major symbol as well. And the tunnel is not to be counted out or anything. But at the end of this tunnel, the second you're sort of coming out of that tunnel is when you receive the millisecond you step out of that tunnel, you're sort of, the signal can get through again. And it's not like you're going in the tunnel of 3D and you come out 3D. It's like you're going in the tunnel of 3D and you're stepping out of it in 5D. Which is just, if you don't know the 3D, 5D language, there's heaps and heaps that you can read about it. I am all for just feeling what it's about, like having the information come from the inside. But if you don't trust that, basically think of it as you're just upgrading. You're just going from kindergarten to you, and you've done that upgrade, and you must feel that, Leo. Somehow, some way, you must feel it, that you're not who you were just, I don't know, a year ago, 3 years ago. You're a different species altogether, it feels like. So with this night, it's like we're in the tunnel and we're coming in here to this 5-dimensional version of you where you're sort of upgraded. And there's this devil in the fire. There's something about the devil in the fire. Maybe for some of you guys, the Capricorn in the fire. Devil in the fire. I hope this means something to somebody. But what I interpret is that it's like a, oh, you don't say devil dare. Thank you. You're saying daredevil. It's a daredevil. Oh my God. Sorry. It takes me a while to get to certain things sometimes. It's a daredevil. There's somebody who sort of comes in, and I don't necessarily want to say pushes your buttons, but it's like they're triggering you in a good way. You find them very exciting. You find them to be, they're very passionate, but it's like it's a happy trigger. It's a happy, you feel really alive around this person, and it feels like you were not expecting them. At this moment in time, it's like, Leo, you weren't expecting them, but it's because you made the shift faster than you were supposed to do or something like that. It's like the acceleration around you, the coming out of this tunnel has shifted. And this experiment comes to mind of this, and what is that called in English? Stamgaffel. In Swedish, it's called a stamgaffel. is it just called a fork? I don't know if it's called a fork, but it's like this instrument. You have this instrument to tune you can use it to tune your instruments, or just have this tone that comes out of it, and you hit it, and it's like a tone. It starts to vibrate, and out of that vibration comes a tone. And there's this experiment where I might get this wrong now, but is that when you're putting it like on a box with sand and air, I think there's something like that, and you hit it, and you have then another fork, stamgaffel, tuning fork. I think it's called a tuning fork. Thank you. Yeah, that may be right. So, just everywhere. Tuning fork. So then you have another tuning fork sitting next to it that you don't touch. You just by force, you hit the first one, and out of the vibration that starts happening, and out of the air particles, then travels the exact same frequency or vibration of that tuning fork is sort of with the sand or with the air particles moving across that tuning fork that is sitting next to it, that is completely still, that nobody's ever touching, is actually starting to vibrate in the same frequency, because they're carrying the exact same unique tone, unique frequency, if that makes sense. That's you guys. Maybe that's a crappy analogy. I don't know. That's just the thing that comes to mind, the analogy that comes to mind, that if you're starting to vibrate, you're not the night anymore. And in this tunnel, you kept attracting certain things, and almost overnight, because it's been a journey, it's definitely been a journey, but just stepping out of that tunnel, it's not years of stepping out of a tunnel. Once you're at the very end of the tunnel and you sort of just step out of it, it's almost like an instant shift. We call it the quantum leaps and things like that. But quantum leaps sort of tells you that you sort of have to make a big jump. This is not a big jump. It's just the next natural step for you. And it is almost like it happens instantaneously and overnight. And now that you're out, it's like, and you stepped up, like you got this medallion hanging around your neck. You were given this throne, Leo, typical Leo, to sit on a throne, feeling really good about yourself, like having accomplished so much. There's actually a blue flame. I didn't see that before. So maybe in the 3D version, there's just a flame, because then I only saw that, the devil in the flame. And then when I looked at it again, sort of started talking about this is so freaking interesting. Look at this. So we have the desert here. It's like we uprated, and so now you're sitting here, and you just sort of, it almost looks like a painting. It could be like a window, you look out over it, but it almost looks like a painting, like you took a snapshot of it, and you sort of hung it up on the wall, like that's where you were. But we're stepping into this now with something with the blue flame here, and you've upgraded immensely, and because you're out of this tunnel, you're now attracting this 5D type of love. And I get the daredevil. It took me a while to get there, and maybe that's the message as well. It took a while to get there, and I think it's unexpected. I don't think, Leo, that you're expecting this. I don't think you're expecting this, not now. And there's something about the yin yang also going on, strong yin yang energy, because yeah, it's too dark, but there's like a yin yang symbol, yin yang symbol, yin yang symbol, and then there's a yin yang symbol laying on the floor, yin yang symbol on a sword. It's like, yeah, it's really beautiful on how you operate it. And so this person is coming in to sort of trigger you. You like it. It's like it's interesting, and it's like you need this kick, Leo, to be interested, if you weren't expecting anybody to come in because you were sort of set in your ways to sort of go it alone for a bit and to shake you out of your throne, it feels like you're so busy just being you these days that if there's going to be somebody that comes in, they freaking better bring it, and they will. I don't know if literally this is a Capricorn or why it's, oh, maybe, okay, so, yeah, thank you. So, yeah, I get a correction. So the only thing it's not a devil. It's just so that I should understand that this is another person, and that but why was that about the... Okay, so for some of you guys, it literally can be a Capricorn. It can also be, because I can't say this without sort of remember, but I got this bird story from San, and if you're new, it's just such a long story, but it's like this bird story. What it comes down to, San on San Tarot had this bird story on her it was a Capricorn reading, and I got the Capricorn in my head over a Gemini reading. It just appeared in my head, and so I went to check this out on her channel, the Capricorn bird story or something like that. The birds are calling, I think it was called, and so the Capricorn has been around, but I think that's for you. I think that's yet to find out what that is about. But I can't say that without thinking, okay, it might just be the guidance because it's the birds. The Capricorn is the Capricorn, yes. And there's something about the Capricorn being represented by the devil in the standard tarot, perhaps, which led me to the daredevil, like a devil dare or devil in the fire. They started out with the devil in the fire. Is nothing devilish around this whatsoever, I just have to say. Okay, and then we move on. So this is like, we have it's almost like, so then this person comes in where they also start. So I think you probably, Leo, have progressed a bit more than this person. Not to sort of have you go, oh crap, like can they just be on your level? Can it just be, you know, a match? And it is. You cannot attract this type of person. You can't attract them unless they're in the vicinity. This is almost like they're being at their final step in that tunnel, and you're so strong having stepped out of it and at least spent 3 days in the higher energy of it, in the higher energy, that it just takes for them to be at the final step in that tunnel, and also having a clear picture of where they're going. They also want to go there. And when they see you, it's like those final steps in that tunnel. I don't think this is vice versa. I don't think it's vice versa. You could shift it around if you want to. If you feel like, no, I'm the one in the tunnel, then you shift the characters around. But this is, I feel like you're the one who has already stepped out, and you're sort of calling in this person. And I feel like because there's a new night. It reverses the images here. It's the night. But it's a night of Raphael, so it's like a complete healing. It's whole. And another card that reminds you of something. the Knight of Gabriel and the Knight of Raphael. So they're very similar. It's just that you moved on, you moved up from Knight to King. And this person is really whole. They really whole within themselves. We have like this beautiful white bird. Makes me think of an eagle. Very secure within themselves. To have all the yellow there. It speaks about a strong solar plexus. Just confident, knowing who they are. On the bottom it says committed romantic relationships, being swept off your feet, situations or topics that make your heart flutter. So this is your person coming in, and I feel like just by you're calling them in, and they are the Knight, but then the next card out is the Lovers, and so it's like you're bringing them out. So this is Raphael as well, like, and to the words that describes them: romantic, dramatic, poetic, introspective. They're coming in. Raphael is sort of being there, saying that they're whole. There's nothing broke. Just because they're in the 3D tunnel doesn't mean. They heard the calling. They're the second tuning fork, if that makes sense. You're the first tuning fork, and you did the work. You sort of you got yourself going, vibrated in your unique frequency, and you stepped from Knight to King, and you came out of that tunnel. And like the first step out of that tunnel, this Knight is like on the very last step of that tunnel, but they're still whole, as a whole person can be with Raphael there. And the upgrade is then for you guys to come together. Raphael's sort of overseeing the whole thing, and here's where you guys meet. It's coming together, and it's you calling them in. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're calling them, or that you're sending a text, or that you're connecting with them, like you're the one sitting down sending a message to somebody, or I don't know. It's not necessarily you physically that is reaching out or making contact with somebody. I just feel like it's your vibration, it's your energy that is calling this person in. So we have the Lovers there. It's the Lovers, Leo, and you're calling them in. And I think it's quite telling, and it's not gender specific. I just really want to make that clear. But there's something about the Leo that is connecting with this message. This is not typically you. You would not typically be sitting on somebody's lap, or typically I don't think that you typically would be carried around by another person. You would be very uncomfortable. But there's something to this, like that this is a person for you to fall for, literally fall for, literally, like physically. It's a safe space and place for you to fall. And it's so interesting, because it's like, I get this, and it feels very off. It feels like I don't understand what this card is doing here. I actually don't understand what this card is doing here. But, so there's some sort of worry, like you're sitting here alone in your major bed, but this is like your resting place where you're supposed to feel safe, and you're a bit worried. And I know that this is an owl, but it sort of speaks to me in the same way that this did. Like this is an eagle, so it's sort of being represented of the eagle again. So it's like this is your person coming in, flailing about, like, look here, look over here, like it's gonna be so beautiful, it's all gonna be so nice, and like the worry is really unnecessary. Can I get some clearance on why this card is here? Why is this card here? So what I feel is that it's just so what I see there is an anchor, so this bird is sort of almost flying in with an anchor. I don't know if you see that. it looks like an anchor to me. And so it's interesting because Leo, you're the one who's already in the higher realms, and this person that is coming in, that you're calling in, is sort of one step behind you. One step behind you. They're not that far behind. And it's still them that is the anchor for you. It's like they will anchor you into this new reality. It's like I'm borderlining wanting to cry. It's so emotional. It's super, super emotional. So they're like showing you the way to anchor in to this newfound place. We have the 9 there, which speaks about ending. So it's like you're stepping out of the old version of yourself, the lower energy centers of yourself, and you're stepping up. And it's interestingly enough, it feels like it's them who's going to help you anchor in the new reality, and all that worry would just vanish. Okay. Wow. I'm going to now use this beautiful deck, Mystical Wisdom. And I'm going to give you 14 cards, only because in numerology, number 12 is the masculine, number 13, like we have today, is the feminine. And 14 for me over time has sort of been the new place. I don't know if it's a combination of... Why didn't that one come out? Confrontation. 14 cards for the silent. 14 cards for the silent. It's like a next step. It's like the next energy of it. There you go. Oh my god. Is that too many? So let's start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we have 14 plus 2. It's so funny because, what was that reading? Because I got 1 extra and I said it was 14 plus 1. And so then this person made a comment about that it was like 14 the new energy and you're plus 1. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. So plus 2? I don't know. So let's see what comes out of that. So I just want to show you the energy of the 14. The gorgeousness, the softness. It's really, really kind energy around the 14. So that's why I want to show you the 14. I'm going to show you these cards fairly quickly. Sort of relax a bit, having silence around you, and sort of just take in what happens with you. Maybe even set the intention that you want to let go of anything that has been put upon you that is not yours, and that you want to go back to this blueprint place, the crystal clear place, if you want to, obviously. And then, so I'm going to be completely quiet. I'm not going to say anything at the end of it. And then I'm going to move into the extended and see what else I can find there. So the extended is going to be in the link in the description box with the link down below. So happy watching.